How's it going, everybody? My name is Jack. I'm a commercial pilot and a flight instructor, and in today's Foreflight video, they've released a ton of new stuff in the last couple months, and I'm going to be honest, I love it. There's a lot of new features in here that are really great. I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but there's 3 of them that I really want to touch on, as they are just some small things that make it super duper fresh with how you can use this app. So that being said, let's get right into it.
I'm Jack, a commercial pilot and CFI. Flying has always been a passion of mine, and I love being able to share that experience as a pilot and instructor for those who are curious about soaring through the sky. I hope you enjoy today's video, that you fasten your seatbelt, and that you enjoy the ride.
Alright, so since the last Foreflight video I've made, this app has had some major updates, and I'm telling you them now because they are a lot better for this app. There's a lot of different things that they've put in, and again, I'm not going to go through everything, but there are a couple things that I think you should know about, as this app has a lot of new features that will be much better for you in the air than on the ground, especially now in GA, where you're just going to go fly and doing stuff. I think this has become a little more professional with it, and I think you guys would absolutely benefit by knowing what these 3 things are. And the first one, we're going to kind of walk through flight, as this is really more important. Starting off with the first one, which is the alternates now in your flight plan, right? If we were to go make a flight, let's say we're going to go from Bangor to Portland, PWM, right? You can see we get the line. Not super terrible. You already know what that is. However, this is where it comes into play. You select the airport you want. We have all these features, right? Replace, insert, view all NOTAMs, runways, and so on. Now, at the bottom here, you can select your alternate. And this is where it's really cool, because when you take your flight plan and you sit in the ground for a little bit, it's going to then show you from Portland or wherever your destination airport is, all the alternates that you need. And that's the really cool thing about this, is it gives you options of where it could be nearby, and it even tells you the weather too based on the airport with what's going on, and it gives you approaches at the bottom as well. So for example, if you're wanting to file an alternate for IFR minimums based on the regulations, you know you can't have an airport destination as an RNAV airport with lower minimums unless you have an alternate outside of just RNAV approaches. Well, you select alternates in here now, you can find the airports that only have RNAVs, and then you can look and see which ones have ILSs, localizers, and RNAVs. So for example, if we chose Laconia as our alternate, we can add LCI as an alternate there. And this is the smartest thing ever. I think this is really cool. You get off and you look, and it's a dotted line that tells you where you need to go for your alternate. And in your flight plan tab, it's kind of shadowing your direct to from Portland of where you need to go next in the event that you actually have to use your alternate. And then you can select on it and then click activate your alternate, and look at that. It changes everything of where you're at from your present position all the way to Laconia. Obviously, I'm not in Maine, but like I said, if you were up here in the middle here, like where by Salty is, and you activated that, you would be going from Salty to Laconia. Instead of that, it makes sense. And that's kind of the coolest thing about this whole new alternate feature, is you actually have the opportunity to change it in flight, but then instead of having to just type everything out and do it, all you do is click the button and click activate alternate. And so that's really a big game changer that I think people may not understand until they get into a situation that obviously turns things around. Second thing, and this is one that I really hit on a couple of videos ago, is the user waypoints one. If you want to go see my full take on user waypoints, I'll link that video down below. But for this one, this is the coolest part about the user waypoints update, is when you go and select user waypoints now, right? For example, if I were to like name a point or whatever, let's go to say this one right here, S turns east-west number 2. Click it. You can actually now edit it and change the icons. So this is really cool. You can change it as a target, right? You can change it as a hexagon, dotted pin, solid circle, change the color of it as well. Let's say I wanted to really kind of see this thing, make it stand out. Let's just go with a target icon there. Now that I click close, obviously if I cancel, it's not going to work. So when we go waypoint style here, target, we got to save it. That's something people forget all the time. It turns into a target. And you can now see that much better than just like the arrow icon, where it's just kind of like that little thing there. So it's definitely a much easier way to actually kind of see what you're doing. And like I said too in the other video where you can toggle the different map layers, just go to aerial and then it targets exactly where you want to be in that waypoint there. So that's really why this update is huge, is if you know how to use your user waypoints, you can now change the icon in the event that you need to just absolutely know where something is on the dot. It's all right there for you, and it's super crazy now that they can actually give you this option. Game changer in my opinion if you're a GA pilot wanting to know like backcountry runways, whether or not labeled on the map, or in the event that you need to go fly over something and you want to select it. That's a user waypoints for now with these target icons and other stuff, which is huge. So very cool, and I highly encourage you to take advantage of this update, as this is something that they haven't really done before. And personally, I haven't seen it in any other aviation thing except for Garmin Pilot, but the icons on this is really big, so I would highly encourage you to use this. Last feature that I have for the newest update with all of these is the comments now on the airports. I've never really done an update on this because honestly, it's self-explanatory. You can go in, you can look at what people write about. It's kind of like a forum thing where like in Reddit, you look something up and then people kind of like make comments about it. It's similar to like a Reddit thread, except now you can actually upvote these things, which is kind of funny. So if I were to go to Bangor, for example, click comments right over here, it'll give you somewhere it's like pilots say as an AI thing, which is cool. And then you can read like all these reviews of what people think of Bangor. But now you can look and see there's a like icon, which you can then actually upvote these votes. So for example, if I wanted to just do whatever I wanted to do with this, let's say I upvoted this guy's comment here, that's now saying 2 people have confirmed that this comment is the truth. And that's where I think this is huge, because most times back in the day when you couldn't use this well, they just had the comments here. And sometimes they'd be like 3 weeks ago, all the way down to where it still says, yeah, like 4 years ago. They just had these comments on here. Doesn't really say anything about how relevant they are or kind of what's going on. The AI thing they released, I think it was last year, really finally started getting that fixed, where it said like a little summary of all the comments. Again, not really something big, but a little more relevant with that. But now you can actually go in and just literally like these posts or comments that people write, so that you can actually then see if it's relevant or not, saying, hey, these are, actually good comments or good votes for this specific airport. So something small, but I think it's really cool. And then if you've never done it before, it's very easy to do. All you do is you click up here, do whatever you want to write. So draft is what it is. And then you just, start typing whatever you want to do, and then you just click publish in the top right if you wanted to make a comment. I believe it's up to the Foreflight to actually like post it. So if you say something bad, obviously it gets reviewed. They're not going to post it, so just be careful with your words. But yeah, like I said, it's open to anyone who wants to make a comment on here. You click publish. Once it's reviewed, people just put it on here, and yeah, it's a great little life hack when you're just trying to go to an airport. If you want to know how good the line work is, you want to know how good like services are, just click comments and you can kind of see what people have written about it, whether it's good or bad. So a little tribal knowledge is what I've heard from someone who was telling me about this type of stuff. So yeah, if you want to know the tribal knowledge of the airport, just go here. With all that being said about these new updates, these are really cool, and I really do enjoy these. And half of my information that I get on just kind of understanding these updates actually comes from the Discovery tab in Foreflight. So they do a whole bunch of like releases where it's like new, and you can see they don't really update it much. They've recently done a bunch more with like February and then kind of March and April, kind of back to back to back, which is cool. There's a couple more things in here that I'll go into next video when I have time, but these are just some of the things that I've used, and I love them a lot more now because of the enhancement that they've added to this app. So if you are wanting to use Foreflight better and kind of know what to do with it next, the 3 features I talked about, I highly encourage you just kind of look at, get used to, and maybe even incorporate it into your routine. Because again, you never know what could happen until something happens, and then at that point, you're only prepared with what you got in front of you and what's on you. So that's all you can do in that situation. So again, these are some great features that I like, and if you do enjoy them, again, they're there on the app now if you have the subscription or if you have the app. So feel free, by all means, go check them out, because these things are gold. They're actually gold. With all being said, thank you guys so much for coming and watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video on just some of the newer updates that Foreflight has posted. I'm going to try and do a bunch of these. There's a lot of things that they're coming out with. I went to a forum online when they were at Sun and Fun. I wish I could have gone this year, and I kind of watched it. So they're looking up as far as just kind of with the new acquisition and what the company's doing. So if you guys are liking this style of video, you can subscribe down below, and you can just kind of see when I post another one of these. This is something I love doing. I love flying, and I use this software all the time. So I'll absolutely continue making reviews as I've received nothing but positive feedback on them. So feel free to subscribe and see when I post one next. If you do like any other places of my content, or you want to just go find me elsewhere, you can go down below and check out my Instagram that I have linked. I also have a website on there as well, which for the time being, I'm not going to be doing any like study sessions. I just got some stuff going on with my training. But when I'm done with that, they'll be back open. I'll have time. Whenever you want to schedule a study session, just go down below, click the links, select any one of the study sessions you want. And like I said a long time ago, if you want the first one half off just to give it a shot, go down below and look at the code that I have down there. It'll also be on the screen. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you for supporting me. I hope to continue to see you, and then I hope you stick around. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. See ya!